to the extra power, right?
Yeah.
So this one we can put the
This is giving you power.
oh, okay. So you do the same thing like before this still work like before I saw your picture I put all the things
Red,
and
black, and there.
yeah.
It would work.
Oh, it's working?
Yeah, but they just made it easy, so all your
Okay, so those days has power thing.
yeah.
All of these are empty? Okay. Oh, you got it right.
Can you grab that or when you
You didn't come. Long time. Well, open up and down. You didn't come.
You should have called me. See, this guy wants to be in live. You want to be in live, right? No?
You're doing the gate?
yeah, I built the gate.
This reader. This reader you're gonna use. Sorry, I'm just gonna steal that HID reader.
Did you find the cable?
No.
Yeah. Use this one instead. That reader? Yeah. Just because it's attached to the door.
It will work for this door, right?
Yeah.
I have to remove this one.
So now I want to use only black.
No, you wanna use
Only black.
that's just put it there.
Like that, or
Because when you come here, you just connect to this.
no, this will show the door.
Yeah.
Also do this thing.
That's it. So
Just add this one.
this one you don't need because they gave you. This
Oh,
one.
okay. Should I turn on this?
So fix all the little things like the copper
Yeah,
and the little towers.
Busy.
Should I
You wanna say what you're doing to our live audience? Let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah. Sorry, excuse me.
Where you made that?
Please. See? First one is done. Have to do some blue and green again this one, right?
Yeah.
This both, right?
Yeah.
And only for log 2 and log plus and minus for this one.
Yeah.
And I
Cut
can
this
do
out.
that. Yeah. So this one you connect from here. Only this one is log. Okay, log.
So that's gonna be your blue cable. This one's not mag one.
This one is for log.
So it's only this cable. That's a lot.
Orange cable like this is okay?
I don't know. So you're gonna use this orange cable. And then this cable will be for your blue cable.
Put it in there.
Here's orange.
Yes. This.
Okay, I will remove here. Okay?
Yeah. This will be for your orange cable. And this blue cable will go to this blue cable.
But normally the network and this both sides is
Yeah. But on the second one, no mag. So it's just door structure.
door strike, right?
Yeah.
So orange for the door strike, this one for the metal, right?
The door contact.
Door contact. Which one's the door contact? This one.
That's the door contact. This
Door
one
contact.
is the mag.
This one
door
should be the blue. This one for the orange, right?
Yeah.
But the light is coming, no? But it was not okay. Just extend.
So now, how many do you want to? Okay, that's fine. So this one.
Sorry, Arjun, I was busy. I finished first and they come.
Yeah. We only use one set of key.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
I don't know, like, what am I? Should I use this one or this one?
Always number one. If you're just doing one door, just follow one.
So this one.
Yeah.
So I'm using them. My white key, right?
Yeah, it was there.
No, you can throw it like that.
Yeah, I didn't draw because they gave you it.
So why is that this one, this door has only 4 doors?
This is a smart reader, and this is a leaving reader.
Okay, so please read that one. That's why I'm using this one.
Yeah, so all at sea is only 4 pages.
And then after
No, so it's gonna be that written out. And then the lab will help you with that design. And then that's your timer. Yeah, so click module, or default method. So before you log in.
Okay, so should we turn on the light?
Yeah.
Okay, Mariah, can you turn it on? We just make sure that we don't show him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so I'm gonna bring him in. I'll bring him in and we welcome him. Yeah. Yeah.
How you can enter the table? You can open this one here. You can open this one. Remove it.
Why do you want to open it?
No, so see, the concept is how you enter cables.
Where is this? Did I turn upside down? So refresh it. And then wait for it to come back, and then follow with the mouse. Yeah, it should be that page I gave you guys yesterday.
Page 9 is not.
Not working? No. Okay. Let me go talk to you.
I'll be there. So, you're gonna hold this for 30 seconds. 1, 2, 3.
I don't think it's okay.
Because I don't trust. Okay, so now Steve.
Huh? Right? Yeah. So, I can stand.
No, you cannot? I'm being serious. I'm being serious. What other panel are you working on right now? How do you do it? No, I told him not to. Okay. You hold it for 30 seconds. After 30 seconds, you let go for the light. And then once you see that, you hold it until you because that actually says 5 seconds. What's wrong with this guy?
Chris Cole. Chris Cole.
Wow, I don't know.
Because your door is open, right?
Just reset this.
You just reset it, the panel.
Yeah, just reset
Yeah. And so, I think the reason why it's heating is
The reader, this one, door number 1, which is this one, right?
Yeah, door one. So instead, you're gonna do it like this.
No, here, for door 1.
Yeah, but you're gonna follow this wiring. And then for door 2,
no, don't disconnect.
you're gonna use your CDVI reader. It's in your box. It has the
Yeah.
Bluetooth logo like this.
Okay.
And you're gonna wire door 2 like this. Just because this is weakened, but the CDVI reader is RS45.
Okay, so I follow this one. Instead
Follow
of
these
this
ones,
one.
yeah. So
Okay,
all
because
you, it's the same thing. See, red, black, green, white, red, black, green, white.
It just means
But you
that
just need your buzzer cable or your green
where's the
cable.
contact?
Okay,
This is this door, right?
Yeah.
no problem. Thank you.
So, it's usually, what? Which one is your common? It's beeping because of your contact. No, it's okay. The white is your common. This is your normal. So, with CDI, it uses,
Green will do.
because it does monitoring constant. Yeah, they have to use a normal. So that's one thing you can. But now when you press, it closes. So it's the opposite. So what is that one using the relay, right? So if the relay is it on the normally closed or normally open? And you know here, look at this one here. If it's set on this, it's going to be sending power constantly. If you put it on this one, there's going to be no power for number 2. So check where it is. Where is it? Is it like this? Yes. Is it like this or like this? Or like this?
Oh, it's like this.
Okay, so well, it is like this, right? Yeah. Okay, so it's not sending any power.
Lock one is like this.
Lock 1 is like this.
Yeah, lock two is like this.
Okay. So lock 1 is always going to send. So this one is it lock 1?
That's lock
1.
one.
Yeah. And he said lock 1 is like this. So it's constantly sending power. So most times just comes by utility.
Mic test.
So now back to the button and start open. You see that? So So what this is telling you is supposing the loop by setting power all the time to keep it open.
If we do what? What do you want?
If you're using the magnet, the magnet needs power.
Yeah,
They'll block your.
just put that, yeah, exactly, just that cable.
There's so many things you can learn out of this. So that's one of the things. Right now we just learned that
Yeah, but I think I should be able to.
let it close and let it inside you.
Wait, we have one. We have one. And we'll cross it out. This might be the method.
No, you don't need to do that.
Yeah,
It's okay, we'll use that one.
So just turn this one off?
No, just turn it on, but we'll do that. That'll keep more power.
If you happen to run into one of these and the door is constantly staying open, you can do. It's gonna be using this stuff. Okay, so give me the mic
Yeah.
before I introduce him. All right, we ready to go? Where's this light gonna be?
It's gonna be where I am. I'm just
Okay, I'll just put this here.
stay this side.
Yeah,
We can put it there.
so we can put it here. This is good.
No, this port's broken on this thing.
What?
No.
What?
He sent me a thing. PowerPoint.
Oh, his part is broken?
Yeah, over here it's broken.
Oh, okay. But he can use his laptop. If you have a laptop?
Use 3 mics. Yeah, I'm gonna plug it in.
Yeah, we got an HDMI.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, let's go, Pooja.
Yeah. This? Yeah. That's we're using multiple phones, right?
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us. Welcome to the Delmi Training Institute. Today is day number 3 of our access control course, and it's been a very interesting journey. You can see all the students are laser focused, and they are doing what they do best. And you know, we started with the different types of credentials they have, what are card readers, what are output devices, door strike, maglocks, crash bars, etc. But today is very special. As we did mention in previous videos that this week our spotlight and our special guest who would be stopping here to talk to us and also share some insight about what they do is Wilson Povey from CDVI. And I know Wilson is in the house. He'll be joining us very soon. But it's an exciting time to be here. Regardless of where you're watching us from, Wilson is going to be here. He's the National Sales Director for CDVI. It's a security company, and they do a lot of access control. You can see students are busy working on access control panels at the moment. And these panels were made available to us, kind courtesy of Wilson and the team at CDVI, so that we could use these panels to train the next generation of network cabling and electronic security technicians. They are having a time to I have Vijay here. Vijay, how's your experience?
Yeah, this is the first time I am working with the access control system.
Yeah.
So yesterday we done the different companies
Yeah.
access control system. Today also we are doing the CDVI. So it's different architecture. And we
Yes.
are trying to resolve the thing.
But so based on the knowledge you have, how is wiring up this panel like?
No, I don't have enough knowledge about this access control previously. I don't have enough experience also.
Yeah.
But this is the first time. This is my 3rd day. I am curious to how to this is working. So that's why I'm busy here.
You're very busy, right? And
Yeah.
you're laser focused. Shams, what do you think?
Oh, I'm currently, you can see I'm working with the CVDC access control panel, and it's very easy to use. Like last time I used another access panel, but we need to do power up everything. We need to use different power bricks. But here it's power automatically, right? We don't need to hassle for the external power. So yeah, it's very easy to use, and I'm confident to work with this kind of things, right?
3 days ago, if I told you I'll teach you about access control panel,
I said you will out of mind, right? Now even today when our instructor draw before draw, I start wiring it up, and it's work. You can see it's working. Everything is working. You can see. So yeah, now I believe you, right? Your plan is good.
KJ, what do you think? Let's talk to KJ. KJ is here. What do you think?
About the CDVI panel,
Yeah.
right? This has to be the most in-depth, easy thing, right?
It gives you a cheat sheet, right?
gives me a cheat sheet. I'm here, I'm looking here, it's so close. I don't have to pull up my phone. It's very nice.
Don't copy and paste. I
No,
don't
I'm
want you
not
copy and
copy
paste. I know it's here for information, but the knowledge you have, you can easily wire this WhatsApp.
Yeah, I can easily wire it up. Not only that, all of yesterday I couldn't do it. It took me the entire day. And right now I'm actually telling myself I'm going for 10 minutes. Trying to go for under 10 minutes wiring everything.
Oh, so you've challenged yourself to wire this thing up in 10 minutes. Okay, so let's pause it because I'm interrupting you right now and we're having a conversation. So you are timing yourself to finish wiring this up in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I definitely believe you can do it. Yeah. What is your overall experience about access control based on what you've learned?
My overall experience has been sort of rough, but today I'm starting, these are clicking, I'm starting to understand. All of yesterday it took me like just hooking the panel, I didn't get turned on. This morning I turned it on and tested it and I finally got hang of it. So I feel like I'm progressing
How's your excitement level so far?
very high.
Very high,
I don't
right?
think I'll be able to sleep tonight.
You wouldn't you wouldn't be able to
Just
sleep.
dreaming about electronics and relays and all kind of stuff.
That's good. That's good. At least we put your mind in the right spot. So folks, here is what we do here at Delmi Training Institute. And the fact that students have these types of panels to work on, these are real world industry standard panels. And students have the opportunity to work with them and make all the mistakes that they can make under the supervision of an instructor. Not only that, their learning journey is incredible because you can see students who a few days ago, even though they might have had some knowledge about access control, but they've never had the opportunity to actually do some stuff. I have Jama here. I'm going to talk to Jama also and try and get some feedback from Jama. Jama has been sitting here quietly. So can you tell me how excited you are about the
I'm excited today and every day with you and Delmi Institution. So I'm learning today, new panel, which is access control provided from company CDVI. So it's quite interesting and I love it. Yeah, I'm learning and practicing as well.
Good,
All right,
good.
thank you.
Yeah, so I think my media team just notified me that Wilson is here. So I am going to go ahead and welcome Wilson Pove from CDVI and the man of the moment. You know how long it took me to get this man here? This man who is standing here, it took me so long to try and get him. Not that he was hesitant to come, but he's a very busy guy. He's been traveling all around and he's been working on different things. But the fact that he's here in the house today means a lot. So I want to welcome Wilson.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for taking time.
Yeah.
So thank you, first of all, for making CDVI products very accessible to the students here at the Delmi Training Institute, because these products are going a long way to help the next generation. It's a lot of investment that CDVI as a whole, they thought about the Delmi Training Institute through you, and they helped us out. So first of all, what made CDVI want to be a part of the Delmi Training Institute and provide us with all this cutting-edge technology?
Well, CDVI is a big believer in training people using our system. It's a system. Well, in general, access control is not just something you pick up off the shelf and learn. It requires some knowledge to install it, to program it, to learn how it works and how you can apply it to certain applications out there, certain projects that are out there.
Yeah.
I'm a big firm believer in training. providing people lots of training. I'm very hands-on with a lot of my dealers.
Yeah.
So I actually go onto job sites with their first couple installs, help them wire the panel, make sure they're wiring everything correctly, and then help them program the panel from scratch. Obviously, being a security technician, you're not just looking at one product, you're looking at various products.
Yeah.
So you can't be an expert in everything. So I think behind each product, there should be some kind of support. And CDVI is very well known for the support that we provide to anybody that uses our system. So we go above and beyond everyone else.
That one I can testify to that, because the tech support that you get from CDVI, I have used their tech support before, and I can tell you it's 100%. Some of them you have to be on the phone for many hours, and the thing is, even if you call Wilson, there are times if you call him and he has the availability, he will pick up. If he has to be at your site, yes, he's been at my site a couple of times and helped me solve the problems. So let's talk about CDVI as a company.
So
Right.
CDVI started in 1985. It was primarily based out of Berry, France,
Yeah.
which is close to Paris. We specialized back in the day in locking devices, so mag locks, strikes, different various types of locks. And then we moved on to like more of a standalone keypads
Yeah.
because it was mainly based in the European market, and that's what the European market mainly uses. When they came over to North America about, say, 20 years ago, they had purchased a product called Centaur, which was part of another manufacturer, and they sold the rights to that product to CDVI. So we used that product to launch our access control platform within the North American market. And ever since that, we've been growing and growing. The system they're training on today is called Atrium, which is actually researched and developed here in Canada.
Oh, and the panel that we have to work with is the A22K,
Yeah.
the crypto, right?
Yeah, so Crypto is the newest generation of our controller.
Yeah.
The reason why it's called Crypto is because in the access control world, there's a big shift that's happening right now.
Yeah.
A lot of people are still using old card technology, which nowadays can be cloned. So the Crypto system makes it a simplified process to pretty much deploy an encrypted system, very simple.
Oh, yeah. So, and with the product you have, one of the products that I think excited the students the most was that Bluetooth Cube thing.
Yeah. So not only do we make access control products, we also make wireless products.
Yeah.
One of the wireless products you're talking about is called the Cube Kit.
Yeah.
Basically, we simplified something for a lot of installers. Again, it's more modern.
Yeah.
Usually relays and relay receivers are by push button and learning in remotes.
Yeah.
The Cube Kit has a Bluetooth module built in to allow the installer to easily download an app
Yeah.
and then configure the actual receiver via an app, which makes it a lot more of a simple process, right? To just pick up and learn. The reason why we have that as well is because you can also use your phone to trigger the relay off the receiver via Bluetooth as well. So it gives you a wide varieties of using either a remote, a phone, or whatever else you want to use.
That was one of Peter's favorite devices, toys he was playing in class, the Bluetooth thing with his phone. And he said he likes it because it's more Gen Z. We are live here at the Delmi Training Institute, and we are happy to have Wilson Poviv, the National Sales Director for CDVI, and he's here in the house. So keep your questions coming in the comment section for those of you who are watching us live.
So it says it's CDVI in Sub-Saharan Africa or East Africa. So what's the plan on having the dealer here?
So it's CDVI in Sub-Saharan Africa? Or?
So we have an export division.
Yeah.
They can contact here us in North America if they wish, and we will redirect them to the proper channels where they can deal with someone for that region.
Okay.
Yeah, so CDVI, not only we're based in Europe, we're based in Eastern Europe, European countries such as Germany, Sweden, Belgium, and so on. We also have different, I can show you quickly here if you want. Yeah. We have offices spread out all over the world pretty much. So here in North America, we're based in Canada out of Laval, Quebec. So we take care of all the Americas, which would include North and South America. In Europe, we have places in Italy, we have places in Poland, Sweden, Switzerland, Germany, France, Spain, UK. So we're very well spread out throughout most of the regions throughout the world.
Okay. So I know before we get so deep in our head, do you want to take some time to tell us a little bit about CDVI and some of the products you guys have and then we can get into question time, question period. So I would, should I turn off the light?
Yeah.
Let's see. So how is that? Yeah. So we'll let Wilson give us a little bit of an overview about CDVI, their products, and all that, and then we'll get into. I have some very interesting questions I want to ask Wilson.
So CDVI, what we make, we're an access control manufacturer. So
Yeah.
we're an actual manufacturer. So we have manufacturing facilities spread out throughout the world. The reason why we do this is we have control over our own product.
Yeah.
Right. So when we talk about access control, people think of just locking devices panels. It also consists of different types of card readers.
Yeah.
Right. Not only card readers, but different authentication devices. So we can also use biometrics, which would include fingerprint. And nowadays, a lot of people ask for facial recognition as well. So don't just think of a card reader just being a reader. It could be a keypad, it could be a reader, a biometric reader, a facial recognition reader. So there's different ways of authenticating people depends on the type of project you're using. So if it's more high security, people will probably prefer like a facial recognition type unit as well, okay? Not only do we make that, we make a whole line of different locking devices as well. So whether it be a magnetic lock or an electric strike, we cover those as well. Basically also make a door operator. So we try to cover everything around the door pretty much.
So how many types of panels do you have? I know you have the Centaur that you spoke about,
Yeah.
and we have the Crypto. And there is a new one you guys have, is it?
So we're just putting the final touches on a new cloud system.
Yeah.
So it's a cloud-based controller based off the same controller you have in front of you right now. So the wiring's nothing different. It's the same type of wiring, it's the same controller. The actual controller you have in front of you is used throughout 3 different systems right now. So we have a legacy system that's called Centaur. We have Atrium that's in the middle. Now we have our new cloud system, which is called Stratus.
And I know I was talking to you about one of the projects that I had going on, and I was thinking about integrating an elevator in there. They had an elevator, but you did mention to me that with the Crypto panel, the A22K or something that I had, all I had to do was to change the firmware or something with the elevator controller firmware. So
Yep.
the same panel, I don't have to do anything, just change the firmware and it becomes an elevator controller.
That's right. So again, using one controller, we can change the operating mode of the controller. So depending on the application you're using it for, like you said, for elevators, basically in an elevator type of setup, you'll have our controller, which will be holding the card reader that's connected to the cab, right? So inside a cab, basically a user, if we're gonna do a real-time example, would have to swipe their card at the card reader, and then the floor that they'd be allowed to and have access to, you can easily punch it in, press that button, and it will take you up to that particular floor. So I can restrict people to go only on certain floors within a building as well.
And I think this is for those of you who are learning right now. So we're learning all about the A22K and how to use the different types of readers that we have, including their Bluetooth reader, using mobile credentials and doing all that. We also have the opportunity, students are learning about RS-485 on the Crypto. So that's one of the things that they're wiring up. And they are also trying to put two different wiring protocols, like the WIGAN and the RS-485 on one of them, and so that they can definitely use their mobile credentials. And thank you, we have access to mobile credentials also in here, made kind courtesy of CDVI. Can you tell me a little bit of this panel, the Crypto A22K, the panel? It seemed to be a very interesting panel, so can you elaborate some of the feature sets of that?
So off the Atrium Crypto controller, pretty much it's a 2-door controller.
Yeah.
It has a built-in network jack. So basically it's not a separate module you have to purchase.
Yeah.
Everything's built into one controller. We will also provide you 2 lock outputs.
Yeah.
So the lock outputs, they can be used to either to open up a strike, which requires power, right? Or on the flip side, you can use a dry contact off the same terminal to trigger, say, a overhead garage door. So we don't have to purchase any extra relays. Everything's on the board for you to do either or, right? Also on board, there's dedicated door contact and request to exit inputs. So again, simplifying everything for you guys to understand how to wire the panel. You're not just seeing a row of inputs and then you have to assign it and create it under programming. Everything's pre-assigned for you. So if you wire up the panel the way we show you, Once you power up the system, it's ready to go out of the box. It's already pre-programmed from the factory. So again, we're making less steps for you to program the panel to get up and running much quicker, okay?
Okay, so let's talk about the web interface, right? Because I used to be a fan of, before when I first started in access control, working on the center and then going through the 822. I started with, I'm an old school guy, so I like to have the software and then I click. But this Gen Z guys that I work with, they said, no. You're doing it the old fashioned way. Just use the web interface. And I used the web interface once. It blew my mind. Pretty much you can do everything on the web, and even you can use the smartphone app as well. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
So the reason why we built in a web server into the controller was many years of research, right? So we found a lot of customers like to use different PCs on a local network to manage the system. I'm in a client server-based type system. There's a dedicated computer. So in that case, if I want to make changes, I have to go to this computer and make changes. Most of that time, that computer is in a computer room or electrical room. It's not very convenient for people to manage the system. So what we did is we built in a web server into the controller so that anyone can use a web browser on their PC, whether it be a tablet, PC, or a phone, to manage the system via web browser. So you're not paying for a license or anything like that. It's a full functioning web server. So I can do stuff like adding, deleting users, opening, closing doors. I can change schedules and access levels. And Atrium's actually a hybrid system. So you can either use a web server or also software. Okay, so the differences between the two is through the web server, we're doing daily activities, adding, deleting users, changing schedules and so on, checking events very quickly. We also provide you free software that's free of charge, upgradable for life. The reason why we have that is because we give you more advanced functionality. Okay, so the system itself has stuff like email notification, lockdown settings you can create, scenarios, elevator control, right? You can do macros, which are like automation type triggers as well. So the software, again, will also allow the end user to store more data locally on site on a computer. So if someone wants to have 2 years of worth of information, basically they'll use the software with the system, and the system will dump all the information to the software so they can easily pull a report, say, for months or years back.
When we got the panels brand new, they had some additional cards inside. Like one was an installer card, one was a programmable card, one was, why do you guys do that?
The reason why, again, is just to make it simple for the end user. Okay, so in access control, we try to make it easy for someone that, access control, it's not something you use every day, right? So cameras might be different. You might be viewing cameras every day. But in access control, not everyone's fired on a daily basis. So you might have a database of users that will be there for, say, 2-3 years, right? So the reason why we do that is because just make it simple. So the programming MasterCard is basically the whole concept behind it is, say I want to quickly add a card and I don't want to go to my PC, right? So I can go to any reader with a MasterCard, show it at a reader, it will allow access. And basically, once you see the reader turn green, you'll grab a programming card and swipe it during that process. Once you do that, the system will then go into the enrollment process. So I can grab a stack of brand new cards and just learn them in one by one at the reader without having to use a PC. So in the case, say if you're at a construction site, there's no network in the building yet, and you quickly want to add a door because all the contractors would need to get into the door onto the site, and you want to secure that door. So by using the master and programming card, you can do this locally at a reader without having to have a PC at all.
So it makes my life easier as, let's say, as the operations supervisor or the site supervisor. I have the programming and the installer card, and I just have a few contractors who are coming in, and I need to grant them access. And I'm busy, I'm on the site. I don't have time to come and sit by my computer and start going in. I just pull up those cards from my wallet, go to the nearest card, and I can use that to enroll them in, and they're going to be actively working. One thing that fascinates me about CDVI, and we've had the opportunity to test so many panels in-house. Most of the panels, you program on the computer, and you do an upload or a download, depending on the manufacturer, how they decide to call it. But pretty much what you're talking about is sending that information that you've programmed on the access control computer, the server that you're using. After that, you program and download everything to the panel. But what happens if that computer that has the software and the database crashes and you cannot? You have to go through the process of trying to rebuilding everything up, reprogramming all the cards up. That's if you don't have a backup, right? I learned one thing, and that thing made me happy for a long time. With CDVI, it's one of the few panels that I don't even think there's any other panel. I could be wrong. Let me know in the comment section, for those of you who are watching us, let me know which other panel does that if you've ever encountered one of that before. So I panicked. When it happened and the computer crashed, I did panic. So the first thing I did was I called CDVI tech support, and I said, this is what has happened. I don't have a database. I don't have a backup. How do I do it? He said, yep, I'll be able to get that information from the panel. So, you know, usually most of the access control systems, you program it on the laptop and you send it to the panel, and that information stays on the panel. There is no way you can recall that information back. So because of my experience working with many access control panels, and most of the times they tell you, sorry, you have to reprogram everything back. When I worked with CDVI on the site, I really panicked. So when I called tech support and they said, no need to worry, just get a brand new computer, install the thing, connect it, and you can pull all that information back. Ever since, I was a believer. So can you tell me about that?
So it's a key feature of our system. So like you said, in most of these systems that you're currently learning on, you have to have a dedicated PC, right? In the case of it crashes, you don't have a backup of that whole database. You're doing it from scratch, okay? So think of an apartment building, right? You have many floors, many users. So sometimes it can be up to 2,000 cards. So imagine your PC crashing, you never made a backup, right? Or you never taught your end user to make a backup on a regular basis, right? So all that information is gone. So imagine trying to get 2,000 cards back into your hands and then reprogram all those users back into the system. So a unique feature of our controller is if your PC crashes, right, we still have all the database stored locally on the controller. So I can always reinstall the software and then connect back to the system. As long as it's not passworded, or if you know the password to the system, you can reconnect back to the system via the software. And what the system will do then is upload the whole configuration that's stored in its database back into the software. So you don't have to worry about the whole scenario of making backups, right?
That's why you have the USB in the motherboard.
No, the USB is going to be used for a future purpose. So that's why we're thinking about the future. We built it in, okay? So another thing is also, if now you're only using web server, we recently added a feature so you can locally back up the system via the web browser as well. Because a lot of people we find are only using web server only.
Yeah.
Okay, so as time goes on, we take a lot of feedback from our end users and our dealers as well. So we take that feedback seriously and we add it to the system. So these little functions and features that are added over time, basically is feedback from you guys, the guys that are in the field and saying, hey, I saw this on this system, but you guys don't have this. Maybe this is a good feature that you guys can add to your system. Right?
Okay, so
feedback is good.
So I'm going to pause here because it looks like we have a few questions from the users who are watching us and from in class here. Can we take a few questions online, and then I know a few of you are excited to ask some questions as well.
Someone said, can a Centaur controller do the backup features like the Atrium?
So Centaur is a client server base. So basically you can do a backup manually off the Centaur software.
Okay, so what was the question again? Because maybe not everybody heard you.
He just said, how about the Centaur controller? So I'm assuming he was talking about if I lose a PC.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you lose a PC in a Centaur environment, if you don't make that backup, you have that scenario where you have to recreate the whole database.
But this is unique for...
This is only unique to Atrium, that feature.
Atrium, yeah. So that was the newer system you guys introduced, right? Yeah, so this is one of the features that I love the most. Before we go even into credentials and we go into the Bluetooth readers, and that was just one of my favorites. I did a video on how that works because when I spoke with you and you told me what your Bluetooth reader can do, I came and I made a video about it. Because here at Delmi Training Institute, You just don't tell us that, yes, our product can do A, B, C, D. We put it to the test. And if it doesn't, we'll definitely tell you our honest opinion, because definitely we have students in here and we got to teach them what is new and what is the cutting edge thing. So I did put up that up. You can check that on our YouTube page at Delmi Training. We'll talk about that. Are there any questions?
Peter from Kampala, Uganda.
Oh,
If it can be accessed remotely, or does your platform have a web platform for remote access that can access the device from anywhere around the world?
So that'll be part of our new system called Stratus. It's cloud-based. With Stratus, because it's cloud-based, there's a monthly fee associated to each store that you put onto the system. So this will allow you to access the system remotely anywhere in the world, pretty much.
even with the crypto, so long as you do some port forwarding stuff and
You can do it crypto as well. You can either use a VPN if you wish, but there is some port forwarding required if you want to do it remote access.
okay, so it's a possible feature. Some of you had questions in here. Yeah.
Most of them is Microsoft or Google or
We use Amazon web services, so AWS. Yeah.
not multi-cloud.
No, not multi-cloud. No, we just picked one cloud server. That's it. Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to talk about, I'm going to get Wilson to talk about the Bluetooth reader. And this is some of the feature that you guys are going to use here in class as part of that. But definitely, we wanted you guys to discover it as part of your slides. But this is an opportunity for Wilson to talk about what the Bluetooth feature on their, what's that reader called again?
So it's called the K1BT. We also have a new version of our reader as well. It's called the K-Prox.
Yeah.
The new version is actually a lot better because, like I said before, there's a lot of people
that's
using
that one there?
older card technology. Yeah, the one up there. Yeah, so it's a lot of people use old cards that can be cloned, right? But a lot of people don't want to transition to a new smart card just because of cost sometimes. It's a lot more money to transition to an encrypted system, right? So with the new readers that we have, you can actually keep on using your old cards for the time being and then slowly transition up to a more encrypted type of environment. The Bluetooth alone, I like to educate people on how it's used, right? And especially with our system, okay? We're not like everyone else. Everyone does things differently, okay? I myself, I like technology, but at the end of the day, it's more about security or convenience, right? Convenience is, hey, it's easy for me to open up my phone, open up my app, and then press a button on the screen and open the door. But at the same time, this is access control. Nowadays, people don't have a lot of patience, I find, right? So with our Bluetooth credential, the way it works is, basically you'll create a user just like adding a card, right? From there, we would send a registration code via email, or we can do it locally through a reader to a user's phone, okay? So then the end user, what he does is he will download an app and he'll copy and paste that registration code into the app. And once you come close to the reader that you on the building, basically it's going to do a handshake and you'll see pending registration code and it'll do a handshake and then activate the license for you on your phone, okay? The way our app works is you have to have the app open for it to recognize a reader, and then to either, you have 5 different options. So basically you can touch the door on the screen to open the door. You can use your phone, like use the NFC and wave it like a card in front of the reader to open the door. Third option is you can use your voice. So either if you have Apple or Google, you can use Siri on Apple and say open door, and it'll open the door for you. Fourth option is biometric, so it's like a dual authentication. So even if I drop my phone, someone picks it up, opens the app and tries to open a door, it'll ask for a secondary authentication using either your finger or your Face ID off your phone for higher security, okay? The fifth one is pretty cool.
Wait a second. Peter, tell me what's going through your mind. Let's go to Peter for a second, because ever since he started saying this, okay. So, can you tell me why you were like?
Because I didn't expect like to have all those features that I want to use. Because I feel like it's been all these old, all these old things. But it's better for me. Like I can easily access it and just say, "Hey, open door."
No, but these features. He's going to talk about the fifth one. It's the same thing that happened to me when he told me that, yeah, you can do so many things like this. He said, I just pull up your phone and just say open door, for example. I was like, what? So I came and I recorded a video about all those feature sets using your fingerprint, using the touch, using the NFC, using the voice, and like it is amazing. It's not because Wilson is standing here today, but I made a video about it. And when he started saying it, I was just looking. I'm looking at the class, and everybody was going like this, but this guy was going like. Okay, go ahead and tell us with the last one.
Can the biometric time and attendance be synced with the payroll?
No. No, it'll be a report that you generate, and then from there you can convert it into an Excel format, CSV, whatever you wish. But that's with the Centaur platform.
On the Centaur platform. Yes. Okay. Can you just tell us the fifth one? And someone has a question.
Yeah, so the fifth option is nearby location. So basically, there's a Bluetooth range that you'll see on the app. So it's like a meter, right? I can say when I'm far away from the reader, so Bluetooth is usually 10, 15 feet.
Yeah.
When I'm within range of the reader, automatically open the door. So think of I'm in a car, I'm coming to a gate, right? I don't want to, open my window. Basically, when I'm within range of the reader, it will automatically open the gate for me. Okay.
This is just phenomenal, and it explains why it took me so long to get him, right, to come in here, right? He's just been busy running around the country, doing product demos and stuff like that. Kwame, we know you have a question.
I was actually asking whether you can use Alexa as input.
No, that'd be kind of cool.
You see, we have lots of Gen Z people in here. Alexa, please unlock the door.
So one thing you got to know about Bluetooth, especially when it comes to mobile credentials, right? A lot of people use UWB, which is high precise, Bluetooth location on GPS. UWB sometimes drains your battery very quickly, right? So a lot of manufacturers out there, they say it's true. You can have your phone in your pocket, and then you don't have to open up an app, and once you're within range of the reader, automatically open.
Yeah.
But then you got to think about, hey, if you're a heavy user on your phone and you're using it all day, and you have this, say, feature turned on, you can drain your battery pretty quick. So the reason why we ask the end user to open up the app is because we try to lessen the amount of battery we drain off a phone itself, right?
So it's not always just doing.
It's not always. So myself, I like to use Bluetooth credentials as a backup to my actual tag, right? I put my tags on my keys. Maybe I forgot my keys. I can always use my phone to still as a backup to get into the door. We also have these little sticky disc tags as well.
Yeah.
That I'm a big fan of. So it's a little disc tag that goes either in between your cover or on the back of your case, right? And then it's just like a card. Show it at a reader and lets you in. So again, it speeds up the process pretty much.
This is exciting so far, eh? You had a question?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
For example, if I want to buy for my own house.
This guy wants to put a trim at his house. What do you have? Gold? Just let me know. Give me your address.
Is it like I need the technician to configure everything or?
No, so like I said before, access control is not just card readers, right? There are now on the market wireless locks, right? So you don't have to really wire to a certain location. Basically, it's a battery operated lock that you can install on most, say, a residential door.
Yeah.
And then unlock that door, and then you have to enter via a code, or some of them even have a Apple Wallet integration now and stuff like that. So yeah, there's the different devices you can use.
Yeah, I was about to ask that question. Can you add it to your Apple Wallet?
So our Bluetooth, we don't allow you to do it because Apple charges us a fee. So we don't. Our Bluetooth credential is only a one-time fee. That's it.
Before we get into integration with other partners, can we talk a little bit about your cloud-based, right? That cloud-based software, because I had the opportunity to see that panel at Canasa 2025, and it's the white one, right?
Yeah.
So when I walk into a building and I see the blue, which is the atrium.
That's the crypto.
The crypto.
We had another generation of that board. It's called the A22. That was a black board.
Yeah.
And then the first generation was called the AC22, which was a little bit bigger board. It was green. Yeah, so The cloud itself, like I was saying before, it's a brand new product for us.
Yeah.
Again, it's more revolved around the guys that more IT minded, right? They want everything in the cloud. There's some advantages of using the cloud as well. Obviously, it's going to be unlimited storage in the cloud. Your events will always be there. Your database will always be in the cloud. So, like you said before, if the panel was to fail, you can easily install a new panel and then
download
the configuration back into the system very quickly as well.
So
Right? So
just
the
going-
customer will have their information stored somewhere.
So it's just as simple as just taking the old panel out, putting the new panel in.
Re-register the panel with the cloud server, and then basically dump the info back pretty much.
So those new card readers that you were talking about, I'm going to get those. Where's Marak? Can you get him to take that poster you brought? Because I know you said it was one of your new readers. Are they available on the market now?
Yeah, they're available. They're stocked through our distributors. Again, the reason why we made this reader is because we live in Canada here, and we live in cold environments. This winter's been very cold.
Yeah.
Most card readers, you'll be surprised, they're only rated to -10, right? So the readers we made now, they're to -40, or I think to 120, I think it is Fahrenheit. I checked the specs, but it's made for both type of environments, okay? Here in Canada as well, like we've simplified things a little bit more. It's a 4-wire reader, just like the ones you have in front of you, okay? The new reader as well doesn't have a pigtail coming out the back. There's actually push terminals. So you strip your wires and you put them into a terminal, and that's it, you're done. Okay, so again, just making things very simple for the installer to install the system.
So definitely, I know these are the ones, and this is new. This is just released by CDVI. This is how they look like. And now that they're out in distribution, definitely, I know Delmi Training Institute, we're definitely going to lay hands on. Because kind courtesy of CDVI, a great partner of the Delmi Training Institute, whenever they come out with something new, they give us the opportunity to put that before our students, and they can also experience it. So definitely we know we're going to experience this. So he brought this in today so we could show you. That is how it looks. I think it looks slick. If you ask me, it looks very nice. Yeah.
Yeah, so it comes in proximity only version and also a keypad reader version, okay? Keypad reader, again, it's more for convenience. A lot of people like to use PIN codes, maybe for a visitor for temporary use for the day.
Yeah.
Also, our system allows a person to use the code, say, maybe 5 times, and then after 5 times, automatically expire the PIN code as well.
So did we learn about that today, right? Yeah. Deduct usage. So that feature is also built in here. So these ones, are they multi-frequency?
Yep, so multi-frequency means it reads both 125 kilohertz, which is older card technology, and also 13.56, which is more smart card technology.
So definitely a multi-class kind of thing. It would read different readers. So definitely, I know Wilson is here. So when are we getting our shipment?
Very soon. Hopefully my boss is watching this and
oh yeah,
get some luck
oh
quicker.
definitely.
Cost, it depends on the distributor, on where you buy it and stuff like that, but there's different costs.
So yeah, can you list a few of the distributors here globally, or let's talk about the Americas?
The Americas, well, here in Canada, we're
ADI,
Wesco, APA, and NSI Distribution.
Yeah.
We're shortly going to open up a new distributor that's more on the lock hardware side called IDN.
Yeah.
In the US, it's the main two, so it's Wesco, ADI. There's some other independents as well, many other independents within the US market that we are open to as well.
With the license that you have, because definitely when you purchase a CDVI kit, it comes with a USB key that has the software on it.
So we no longer provide the key.
Yeah.
Just because we found a lot of installers weren't using the key at all. So just to save some money for on our end, you could just, I think we have a QR code you can scan now, which will take you to our site.
Yeah.
We always suggest people to register for our site as well, to have access to our download center. Okay. So it's dealer restricted only. So if you are a technician or a dealer of ours, we'll allow you access to the sites, which allow you to download firmware, software, manuals, all these other kinds of stuff.
And these are free?
These are all free of charge, yeah. So we don't charge for firmware updates. So basically, if we release a bunch of new features, basically you'll go to our site, you'll go to our download center, you'll download firmware for that controller, and then you can upload it either via the web server or the software to make the system have that new type of features that are going to be offered that come in the future.
Good. So let's say someone is sitting somewhere and is wondering, I'm trying to play devil's advocate, that's what I do, and say, well, okay, well, everything you've said so far is great. How many panels, what's the maximum amount of panels I can add on a network segment?
So if you're going to have panels communicated via IP on the atrium system,
Yeah.
basically the limit is 50, okay?
So that's 100 doors.
100 doors, but it goes up to 500 doors, okay? So on the left-hand side of the panel, you'll see an orange connector, okay? That orange connector, you can hardwire up to 4 additional panels to make a loop of 10 doors.
Can you get me a panel, CDVI panel, 822K?
Correct. So basically in that case, it's a master slave configuration, okay? One thing it's important to know as well, if you're using something in that type of environment, depends on the customer. So you have to ask a lot of questions when you install a system. Like, it's not just like, oh, I need to control 4 doors, right? I ask questions like, well, how long you want to keep data for? How many people are going to manage the system? So asking more questions makes you understand what the customer wants a little bit more, okay?
So for those of you who haven't had the opportunity to see what the CDVI panel looks like, this is what it is.
So our panel, what he just hooked out there is the actual power supply, okay? So there's a power supply built into the controller itself. Again, simplifying things for installers, basically there's a plug coming out the back, plug it into a socket, off you go, okay? Over here on the left-hand side, we have our bus, okay? So if we want to expand upon 2 doors, we can easily hardwire 4 additional controllers to this controller that's communicating via IP to make a loop of 10 doors, okay? That's how we get to 500 doors, okay? Down here on the bottom left, you'll find your reader 1, reader 2 inputs. They're color-coded, as you can see, for door 1, they're all black.
Yeah.
For door 2, they're all gray, okay? So you have your 2 reader inputs. Over here, you have your door contact and requested exit dedicated for each door, okay? Over here are your lock outputs.
Yeah.
So you have your powered output on the first 2 terminals. Then you have your dry contact for your additional things as well. Here's your terminal for your backup battery. It's a 12-volt 7-amp power battery. And then over here is your power input that comes off the power supply.
And also there's the few jumpers here that allows you to determine whether you want them in a normally closed state.
No, so it's either de-energized or energized.
Yeah.
Depends on the type of strike you're going to be using.
So you're sending power to those terminals.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can also take power from there to power your relays.
Yeah,
depending on what you want to do.
A lot of people like to integrate alarm systems with our panel.
Yeah.
So basically, this dry contact, if I'm already using the strike output, I can dedicate this to have a different function.
Okay.
So in this case, we'll use this relay output to trigger a zone input and an alarm to disarm the panel.
Folks, that's interesting, eh? It's very interesting. So let's pause and we'll take some questions. KJ, you have a question.
Yeah, this question from earlier, you showed us that product feature.
Yeah.
And you said it has pin and has the other feature.
Oh, you're talking about this one here?
Yeah. Could you possibly use both features as like a...
Yep, so say during the day, I'm gonna have people just swipe their cards. But after 5 o'clock, no one's gonna be in the building. So I wanna make sure, even if say I drop my key fob in the parking lot, someone picks it up, after 5 o'clock, you can implement a security feature where you have to swipe your card and then punch in the PIN code for dual authentication. Or you can use either or. You can use just a card. Some guys can just use a PIN. You have that option.
And also when you look at the CDVI panel, they provide you with pretty much the schematics here. So when you get on the job site and you think you have forgotten how to wire up something, they try to make it as bulletproof as possible by providing you with all the wiring schematics, how you can connect stuff on this panel and what you can do. Now let's talk a little bit about integration. I know you integrate with a few wireless locks and standalone locks.
Yeah, so we do integration with 2 wireless lock manufacturers, one being Allegion, the other one being Assa Abloy. Under the Allegion umbrella, it would be the LE, the NDE, the AD series locks.
Yeah.
So this allows me now, say I install the system and everything's finished, right? You might have a bunch of office stores you need to do. So basically, these two lock manufacturers make a wireless lock that's battery operated. Okay, these wireless locks communicate to a hub. Okay, that hub is connected to our system. So now I can have a hybrid system. I can have hardwire readers and wireless locks. So if ever in a case where you have no possibility of running wires, well, depending on the type of door that you're going to be installing the lock on, we have that solution as well. Okay. So you'll see this in a lot of, say, co-working spaces. Like a co-working space, I rent a room for the day, right? For an office or a series of weeks or months, right? Obviously now this will allow this simple process of adding these office stores now to the system that already have the perimeter of the building already secured.
Wow, that is great. You said we had some questions?
No, somebody said like this can be installed in India.
Do you guys have
Again, reach out to us here in Canada if you wish. We will redirect you to the proper channels where they can tell you where you can install the product and buy it from if you need it over there.
So before we continue, I see you have powered up your system from here. We take a look at VJ. So let's see now. Now VJ's door is locked, right? So if I touch this, okay, I'm gonna lock this one here so that definitely we cannot use this one, right? If this is unlocked, probably we can unlock this. So I don't want guys to think we're cheating, right? We're not cheating. We don't do no cheating here at Delmi Training. So now this is locked. You can see it's locked. Someone has the sliding gate up here. When I touch that, it unlocks and I can just pull this and it's working. Have you programmed it yet?
No, haven't.
But it's working. So that's what I think Wilson was saying, that once you wire it up the same way it's supposed to be, it works out of the box. And you just wired it and just powered it up. You haven't programmed anything yet, but that's the request to exit. He has touch, unlocks, straight up. So it saves you half of your time trying to figure out what goes where, what does this, what doesn't do this. So right out the bat, it starts to work. How difficult was it to wire this panel up?
Yeah, compared to the previous yesterday, this is easy because no need to give additional powers here. So all powers are coming from here, and we can split, and we can identify which one's the input, which one's the output.
Yeah.
If we identify those things correctly, we can do a wiring easily. Otherwise, it will be tough.
Yeah.
If we, for example, we are giving the input devices, right? So the output. So if we analyze which cable, which one's the input, which one's the output, where should give the power for the C and relay.
Yeah.
If we analyze those things, we can wire up. This is my own idea.
Have you powered the system up yet?
Powered up, but I need to program this up because this door has the relays.
Oh, so yeah, so you're using something much more complicated. He's using a different set of relays. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to talk to Wilson a little bit about his experience. And this is where you guys get to ask him some of the technical questions because he's been in the industry for many years. How long have you been in the industry?
I originally started with a company called Vertex Systems, which is a security distributor. I was there for about 8 years, and then moved on to CDVI. So this will be my 19th year at CDVI.
19 years at CDVI. So what can you talk about some of your favorite moments?
I think the security industry is a great industry to get into.
Yeah.
Right now, there's a shortage of technicians. You're obviously helping out the industry by training a lot of people. Hopefully, they can all find employment and stuff like that. What you guys are learning right now are very good things. I myself, I learned just like you guys. I started like you guys. So when I worked at the security distributor, they always offered training from different vendors. I always volunteered, and that's how I learned how things started working, right? Through that knowledge I gained, I started then doing more technical support. So I started doing a lot of support for Paradox products at the time.
Yeah.
Right, and which led me on to Centaur, which is our flagship product. Over time, basically being with CDVI, I got to be open to seeing different things. So new construction builds, existing buildings where they wanted to retrofit a system.
Yeah.
So it's led me to a lot of experience and learning how things work out there. The best thing about being a technician is that you see that stuff every day, day in, day out, right? Which can lead you to do different things within the industry, whether you want to be a sales rep, whether you can become a technical trainer. There's different avenues within the industry that you can go towards, but what you're learning right now is probably the best thing you can do if you want to get into this industry.
What are some of the worst installs you've seen?
So one thing Roland's trying to teach you guys is to dress your panels correctly, right? I find in a lot of alarm systems, you'll find a lot of, they call it like a big nest of wires when you actually open up the panel and a bunch of wires fall out, right? Just take your time. It's, take pride in your work. That's what I think. You guys are installing the system. Obviously, the customer doesn't want to open up a panel and say, oh, what is that, right? So again, that can also lead to a lot of failures as well.
Yeah.
Because if you don't strip your wires properly, like, you leave a lot of copper exposed.
Yeah.
And once you have a lot of wires and you're going to wrap them up within the panel and then crush them in, well, some of those wires can actually touch and create faults and stuff like that and shorts.
What is the warranty on your products?
Warranty on a product is 5-year over-the-counter exchange. So basically the process is if a product does fail, you'll probably be talking to our technical support line. They'll give you a ticket number, and basically you'll go back to the distributor where you bought it from. They'll give you a brand new product back in return. It's not refurbished, it's not repaired, it's brand new within the 5 years.
What is the failure rate?
Failure rate, mainly what I see fail most of the time would be overtime, electric strike. We do have maybe a card reader here and there. Most of the time what I see is the PC is what fails right nowadays. We have systems that have been out there for 20, 30 years, right? And I uncovered one a couple months ago.
Yeah.
It's been installed for over 20 years. The system runs fine. It's a Centaur system,
Yeah.
but the PC crashed and it was running Windows 98. So that's how long it's been there.
So as these young students are getting out into the industry, we know the security industry is nothing that it's going to be, not in the near future, like the way we woke up one day to the realization of ChatGPT and found out that a lot of programmers were out of a job like overnight. A lot of script writers were out of a job overnight because you just tell ChatGPT what you want to do and within 5 seconds it's done. You wanted to write a programming code, you go put it in the prompt and GPT will do it for you. The security industry, one way or the other, because it's all hardwired and you have to go to the site, every site is different. So this is an industry that for now is bulletproof until the next thing comes out. What is it that you can tell these young guys to look out for?
When it comes to AI and security, right now it's mainly focused around analytics, right? And on the video side. We still don't really see it within the access control industry, but we'll probably see it slowly adopting over time. I think it'll be more revolved around creating a database very easily for a programmer. But yeah, AI, like you said, you still have to have someone change the device, right? Because it's hardwired and AI can't do that, right? So yeah, like you said, it's sort of like bulletproof for the time being. But right now, AI is only on the more of the video side for analytics and stuff like that.
So when it comes to CDVI, you guys focused a lot on security. Is there any plans on you guys diverging into something? I know you guys recently acquired.
So we recently acquired an intercom company out of the Netherlands called Robin. So obviously, like we said before, we're trying to make a total door solution. And some of those doors now include an intercom. So we purchased an intercom company that will allow us the ability now to add a video intercom, hopefully very soon, to the Atrium system. Like you can actually live stream video from the actual door. If you're at an opera, say I'm at my computer, I want to let someone in. Basically, I can see a live feed of that person. So that's coming very soon as well.
And that's going to be tied into the mobile app as well?
Yeah, we'll see where it goes. It's development's not easy. It takes time.
Yeah.
Right. So right now we're exploring what we're doing, but we're currently also working on revamping our older system, which is Centaur, which has been in the market for 30 years. We're revamping the whole software right now. So that's going to take some time as well.
And with so we know you you mentioned the Atrium, you mentioned Centaur. Which is the most popular, Centaur?
Nowadays, it's the one you have in front of you called Atrium. So only because of the web server, people like using the web server. It's very simple. It's very basic to understand. I would say 80% of our installs is the atrium system nowadays.
All right, so we're going to go into the next chapter. I know, are there any questions before we go on to? Okay, so my question to you was CDVI has been doing access control for the longest part. Is there any plans of CDVI getting, let's say, into the CCTV market?
No, right now, no, not really. The camera market is very saturated, just too many manufacturers.
Yeah.
What we're exploring the possibility is maybe choosing a couple manufacturers to integrate with.
Yeah.
But again, everyone uses different cameras. So it's hard for us to say keep up integrating different video platforms.
Yeah.
Because it's would take one developer to do everything, right? And it would just take a lot of time. So we'll probably explore the possibilities of adding maybe 1-2 manufacturers in the near future. We're talking to a couple right now.
Your panels, where are they manufactured?
Our panels are manufactured in France.
In France.
Yeah.
So
we were doing them here in Canada,
Yeah.
but we do have a facility in France that makes our panels.
So tariffs, people will be wondering. Like that's the thing I ask myself now. Am I going to pay tariffs for it? If I'm going to pay tariffs for something, I probably go with someone else.
Yeah, so we don't have the issue with tariffs here in Canada, so it doesn't
Yeah.
really affect us. It's mainly more in the U.S. and stuff like that.
And your prices have been very stable for
Our
some
prices,
time.
we've done very little price increases. We might have one coming up, obviously, because our costs go up in manufacturing side. So we might have a minimal price increase coming very soon. But when you compare our price to other systems out there,
Yeah.
we're very competitive in that market.
So over the next little while, what is it that we should be looking at from CDVI?
We're just going to continue to develop. The thing with the access control industry, what you see today is going to be the same thing 10 years down the road, right? The panels rarely change, right? So the whole concept of where everything's wired, just over time, we'll start adding a little bit more features that customers request. A common request we get nowadays is they want to do a search on a card on who hasn't used their card in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
Right? Say it's a gym, a fitness gym, and everyone pays for memberships, right? And all of a sudden, I haven't used my card for 6 months. I want to pull a report. Who hasn't used their card in 6 months? Because I want to call those people and ask them, hey, you have a membership? Is there something we can help you with and stuff like that? So that's a common request nowadays. So we're exploring the possibility of adding those type of features.
Okay. Yeah, you had a question.
Cloud you are using, which specific specialization you are using on, you are more focused on the Amazon Web Service you are using, that cloud based, which specific specialization you are more focused on, or the global architecture, or what?
You're asking like if we're going to have servers all over the world? Yeah, as time goes on, we'll probably have a server in each country that we have offices in, because most countries nowadays want the server in that country. So right now here in North America, they're going to be hosted in both Canada and US as well.
I'm talking about the AWS. You migrated there sometimes, right? We are using AWS for the cloud base. I wanted to know which specialization you are more focused on, like architecture or security or database.
Everything. So obviously security in the cloud is very important, right? One thing we actually worked on is speed. Okay, so if I send a command and it has to go to the cloud and back, we make sure we optimize the speed. So if I click a button, the activation of the relay is instant, right? So again, speed, security, all that stuff, architecture, we can do multi-site with the cloud. So if we have, say, multiple locations, using the cloud, we can have that possibility of creating that scenario as well.
How are you able to achieve this? Is it just over the LAN, or it's got Wi-Fi? Has it got any cell?
No,
built
so
in?
it's all hardwired via LAN.
Okay, so it's also you need fast internet.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
If you want to deploy something like the cloud, definitely fast internet is something that.
Again, it's not video, right?
Yeah.
It's very minimal information being sent back and forth, right? It's not images, right? So it's not very large file sizes. So again, you don't really need a very super fast internet. But yeah, if it's faster, the better, right?
Okay. You've had, let's get some feedback about Delmi Training Institute. You've had, oh, let's
I got
take,
a question about
yes.
web service. What about if other companies they have, like Azora?
No.
So what do you recommend?
Yeah,
Is there
no.
any way to
No, there's no way of migrating to a different server. Right now, we're just going to be using Amazon Web Servers. In the future, maybe we'll see. We'll see. Yeah.
Okay, was there any other question? Do you guys have a question from there?
Can CDVI do temporary access via Bluetooth, like a QR code?
No. No.
So there's no Bluetooth, what was the question?
Can CDVI do temporary access? Like
Oh,
scan
temporary.
QR code?
Oh, so you kind of, okay, then the answer is no. Well, you've seen what we do here at Delmi Training Institute. I know time is, wow, it's almost 1 hour. Can you believe that? You've seen what we do here at Delmi Training Institute. Obviously, that's why CDVI supported us enough. What do you think about what we do?
I think what you guys do is awesome. All 4 topics you cover.
Yeah.
From network cabling, structured
CCTV,
wiring,
yeah.
CCTV.
Electronics and relays.
A big one for I'm a big fan of is the electronics and relays. Obviously, a lot of technicians out there that I meet don't have a clue how a relay works, right? Relays are used for many type of purposes, right? What he teaches you here, especially on the electronics and relay side, is very key to learn, right? Once you wrap your head around how a relay works, you become a better thinker, right? The thing that Roland does very well is that he's teaching you different systems. He's not just specializing in our system. You'll learn 3 other systems as well at the same time. So you're better prepared when you get out there in the field. Obviously, you're going to learn through experience as well, how to run a cable, because not every building's the same, right? So you're going to have to use how you're going to run a cable from point A to B, right? So what Roland's teaching you now, especially on the video side as well, it's very good theory and practice. And it's really cutting out a lot of the stuff that you might learn in other places. He really gets to the point, and the materials he's giving you at the same time, I would take home and read them as well, because a lot of information that he provides you is very, very good.
Well, so I think our time is almost up. It's about 4 o'clock Eastern time, wherever you guys are watching. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comment section below. But before Wilson takes leave, because I know he has somewhere else to be, if someone wants to know more about CDVI, where do they go?
Go to cdvi.ca. That's our North American website.
Yeah.
Under the Contact Us page, you'll find myself.
Yeah.
You can
Wilson?
contact me directly. My email is wilson@cdvi.ca.
Yes, I'm going to put it on the board, so those of you who are watching would be able to see it. And yeah, and for those of you who are watching, if you want to connect with Wilson on LinkedIn, you can always connect with Wilson. So definitely, these are some of the things that students are learning, the different ways that they can wire stuff up. So I'm going to put Wilson's information here as well. Wilson,
WILSON.
Yes. Oh. So it's Wilson.
Yep. At cdvi.ca.
So for those of you who want to connect with Wilson on LinkedIn, like I always say, it is very good to connect with him. That is his email. And I guarantee you when you call Wilson, he'll pick up. Or if he's in a meeting like this where he cannot pick up his phone, he'll definitely call you back. And if there's the need for him to be on your job site for whatever reason, he is going to be there. And that's just one of the many reasons why CDV is successful. Their support, their sales support, you get a national sales director coming to your website, to your job site to come and see and help you out in situations that you might need. So the name is Wilson Poviv. The company is CDVI. What does CDVI mean?
It's a French term. It's yeah.
Okay, so the francophones, those who speak French, it's a francophone thing. Well, so
if you're out of Canada or North America, who do you contact?
Contact me and I'll direct you to the right people.
All right. So folks, this is it. I want to thank Wilson for taking time to stop
you.
by our facility and to also share light on CDVI, the product itself, what it's capable of doing, and also letting us know what we should expect in the coming year. So thank you very much once again.
Thank you.
We always appreciate
Thank you.
you.
We
We're going to
support
take a
that
picture.
Delmi in every way. Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you very much. We'll do one group picture with the entire team because look, everyone is decked in there. And thank you for sending those t-shirts, co-branded with Delmi. So he sent those t-shirts out to you.